In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a line chart in SPSS in order to represent the interaction associated with a 2x2 factorial repeated measures ANOVA. Now, this video assumes you have version 25 or greater because SPSS included an easy way to create this chart in version 25. If you have version 24 or earlier, I showed you another video where you could represent the interaction effect with a high-low chart, and you can still describe the story associated with the interaction with this sort of high-low chart. But if you have version 25 or later, then you can create something that looks better, and it's also easier. So here are the data, 2x2 within subjects factorial ANOVA. It's the plant study, and so I can go into Analyze, General Linear Model, Repeated Measures, and I'm starting from scratch here because I closed SPSS down and started it up again. So the first factor is plants with 2 levels, and the second factor is cleanliness, also with 2 levels. And click Define. And I'm just going to do this quickly because I'm assuming you've already looked at the factorial within subjects ANOVA video. So I just put all the variables in there, and I make sure they're all consistent with the numbers lined up properly. And to get the appropriate chart, click on Plots, and you can put plants into horizontal axis and cleanliness into the separate lines box, and click Add. And you'll see here in version 25 or above, you have some extra options. Line chart is the default, and for a within subjects design, maybe you'd probably want a line chart. You definitely don't want a bar chart. So line chart is what I'm going to select, and here's error bars, and I can get confidence intervals 95%. Now in the textbook I mentioned that for a within subjects design, these confidence intervals are actually not going to be accurate. They're not going to be consistent with the actual ANOVA analysis, which is within subjects here. If you can't be bothered with that, then feel free to use this chart, but if you want to do something a little more precise, go into the advanced section of this chapter. I show you how to make the correction and get the adjusted confidence intervals that are consistent with the within subjects design. So if you don't care, click on Continue and click OK. And SPSS produces the line chart at the bottom, and here it is. Not very attractive the way it's depicted, but we have here, this is the tidy means because we have cleanliness 1. And if you go at the design table, 1 is for cleanliness, it is cleanliness 1 tidy, cleanliness 1 tidy. So you always have to go back to your design table. So that's cleanliness here, and this is the untidy office images with respect to their means of comfortability. So in order to make this look nicer, double click the image and then get rid of this title, and you could change this to cleanliness and change this here. You just have to keep clicking on things one at a time, and they start to highlight for you. So this is tidy, and number 2 is untidy. Just keep clicking on it once, and you get to manipulate it. So I want to change that to bold, change that to 12, and I want to get rid of these lines here. They never really look good to me. Get rid of that. We want to change the scale here to something like 1 to 9. First I'll change it to 12, bold, and the scale, get rid of the minimum and the maximum, def auto. So 1 to 10, let's say. What did I actually do in the, I did 3.5 to 7.5. So let me change that to make it comparable. Probably by, if you're being totally appropriate, you probably should use 1 to 10 if that's the scale upon which they rated. But here I'm going to exaggerate the magnitude of the effect, 3.5 to 7.5, and the increments are going to be 0.5. So here we've got the interaction depicted. I'm going to click the line, make that, increase the weight to 1, increase the weight of this to 1. And I probably want to change the name of the scale. What did I do here? Comfort. So I'll change that to comfort. Double click it again, and then single click. And then it's changeable, comfort. So what's the font on that one? That's 12, bold. Good. Now plants, One is yes plants. So plants, no plants. And I want to change those to bold and 12-point font. And I can get rid of this error bar. Just click on it and then delete, and then click on this. So just click on it and then click on it again, and then just backspace. Gone. Now I'd probably change the size a little bit. Probably move this into the... So you got to keep clicking and then you get what you want. There we go. Then move that over here maybe. Could make it a little bit smaller. I usually like square. I usually like them to be entirely square. Although here it's a little bit misleading. So 4.5 and 5.75. Not bad. There we go. You could use a ruler to see if that's exactly the right size to make it square. Now I would probably change these to a different line and black. Whoop. Click one more time to isolate just that line, and then turn to black and change these things to black. Change that circle. So you just keep clicking on it and it gives you another option. So I'm going to change that to black. I'm also going to change the size to maybe 8 and the border to 1.5. There we go. Now I'm going to change this one to black as well. That one changed it to a line chart. I want to make that one a solid line. So let's change that back to solid and change it to black. There we go. And then change this to black and change these little circles that depict the mean. Turn that to black. 1.5. Change the size to 8. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Not bad. It actually changed it to a straight line. I would make this here a different color. Let's see if it'll change, allow to change the color, make it lighter. It at least makes it a different color, so that's good. Now let's see if it'll change it to a different profile now. Oh, it did. Wow, so you got to change the color. I don't know if this is just a glitch in this one instance of me using it, because I haven't really played around with it very much. But there we go. And now we've got the lines being different, and you can very easily distinguish the two. So that is how you can create a line chart of the means depicting the interaction for a factorial within subjects ANOVA, the easy way in version 25. Again, I'm going to repeat, these confidence intervals are not consistent with a within subjects design. They're too big. And again, I talk about this in the advanced chapter on how to adjust those. A lot of people would not even bother adjusting these because they just don't know the difference. So you could get away with it if you can't be bothered doing the work. But if you do want to do the extra work and represent these data in arguably the most appropriate way, then you'll adjust the confidence intervals so that it's consistent with the within subjects ANOVA. So that is how you can create a profile plot in SPSS depicting the interaction in a factorial within subjects ANOVA.